I do not have any background of military in my family. I belong to a family where mostly people were into academics.
Can you just tell our audience one of the most challenging missions?
I have undertaken a lot of challenging missions. What happened in Kedarnath and what we did in Kedarnath definitely was not scripted. For me, I always wanted to do something very different and very challenging.
Which was the easiest way to fly, and the one the helicopter gave you a lot of trouble?
Nothing is difficult. Even being a pilot is one of the most easiest jobs, if you ask me.
Hello and welcome to EmpowerTalks. I am Taqi Haider, and today we have a very special guest, Captain Yunus. He has served Indian Air Force for 28 years and awarded with Vayu Sena Award. He has played a very important role during 2013 Kedarnath flood. So I am honored to speak with Captain Yunus. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so very much.
Let me just ask you how the journey was started for becoming this pilot.
Okay, it's quite unique because I do not have any background of military in my family. I belong to a family where mostly people were into academics. I am one of this. I have five siblings. I've lost two of them during the course of time. But education was the driving force in my family, driven none other than by my mother, late mother herself. Any which ways, my sisters and my brothers are all in either academics or in professions like medicine. But for me, I always wanted to do something very different and very challenging. Maybe that's the reason I landed up in military and finally flying.
Can you just tell our audience one of the most challenging missions apart from Kedarnath, or if you want to include Kedarnath as well?
Yeah, I think I have undertaken a lot of challenging missions. I've been part of, as a first responder, as part of the Orissa cyclone of 1999, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 1999. I have been part of a lot of disaster management in terms of flying in Bihar, Bengal, the place where we are sitting right now, very close to a station. I spent my early years here.
You spoke about yesterday as well. Yeah.
And from here, I have participated in disaster management, flood rescue in a lot of places, not only in the country, but in the neighboring country also, in Bhutan. So that all these were very challenging. But the one which was the most challenging as well as gave immense satisfaction to me was definitely Kedarnath operations. And at the outset, let me tell you what happened in Kedarnath and what we did in Kedarnath as a part of the rescue operations definitely was not scripted, what you see in the movie by the name Kedarnath. So when the tragedy struck Kedarnath, I was posted somewhere very close to Kedarnath. I was commanding a squadron at a very strategic location, and the rescue operations was requisitioned by the government of India, and I was one of the first ones to take part in that rescue operations. Needless to say, it was the most challenging because the weather was adverse at that point of time. A lot of people had lost their lives, and the flash floods had struck at a time where most of the people were around the temple or en route to the temple. And Kedarnath is located in a bowl. It is on an upslope and at approximately an elevation of close to 10,000, 11,000 feet. So when the flash floods hit the place, a lot of people were en route for parikrama of the temple. So they got washed away. So since we were the first responders, the Indian Air Force, we undertook the rescue operations, saved so many lives. It gives a lot of satisfaction and contentment to me. And post-rescue operations, I was stationed there for close to 2 to 3 months towards the rebuilding of the entire thing because the roads were all washed away and things like that. We used to carry all the essentials, logistics, medicines and things like that. So overall, if you ask me, Kedarnath was one of the most challenging, one of the most satisfying flying that I ever undertook in my 28 years of service in the Indian Air Force.
And you got the prestigious Vayu Sena medal for that as well.
Oh yes, I was awarded by the President of India in terms of Vayu Sena medal. But more than that, the satisfaction which I got by saving thousands of lives is a richer reward than the Vayu Sena medal. I should admit that as well. Not only Kedarnath, I operated in Badrinath. I operated in Harsil, all over the Uttarakhand hills, wherever there was panic because of the flash floods. So I think Kedarnath takes the number one position in my memory as well. I'm reminded, and I'm still in touch with the people whom I saved.
And you spoke about it as well.
Yeah, so I think Kedarnath is the place in my memory which was the most challenging and most satisfying in my
very
career.
shocking, where thousands of people lost their lives.
Oh yes. Definitely, thousands of people lost their lives in just a minute or so because of the downslope. The water flow was so fast that it took along anyone and everything that came in its path. And most of the people, they visit the temple, the Kedarnath temple, on foot. So most of them were washed away. I know of so many people whose dead bodies were also not found because the current of the water was so fast. So I really feel sorry for them. May God bless their souls because they had gone there for a very, very noble purpose.
And now, post-retirement, you are inclined towards the corporate, and you are a part of ISB, one of the prestigious global institutions in MBA. So how was this experience?
Oh yeah, so my journey from aviation to business, corporate, it's interesting because I have always been associated with people, whether it was in military or whether it's now in business world, the corporate world. In fact, that's the major reason why I find a lot of similarity between my previous avatar as a pilot in military, a military pilot, and now in the business world. Because you connect with people. In military, there's so many people who are placed below you. They take your command. They give away their lives on your word of command. In the business parlance, there's so many people who are either placed below you or with whom you are working hand in hand. I call it networking. So the end product is slightly different, but the satisfaction that you receive in both the places is almost the same. And maybe that's why I chose a different second career in management from Indian School of Business, followed by the corporate.
Okay. Is there any inspiration behind this?
The inspiration from ISB that I got, when I first landed up in ISB, that was much before when I took admission in ISB for my course. The environment of ISB fascinated me. It was so conducive to learning that I loved the place. I wanted to have that same kind of environment in the very prestigious place where I was working in the Air Force, where I was posted, and it's the College of Air Warfare. I was heading the faculty at that point of time, and I wanted the same kind of learning environment there. So there are certain good things in certain schools like ISB. There are certain good practices which we were following in College of Air Warfare. So now when I am a graduate of both, I have experience of both, and now have stepped into the corporate, I would like to bring the best of both and do something unique and give opportunities to the people who are venturing into this.
Yes, and it's a very good combo. Air Force, corporate.
Yes, definitely. People often ask me that it's a very unique combo because most of the time the pilots find a job in flying. But I have done so much of challenging flying in military that I wanted to take a kind of different dive into corporate. And maybe in that journey, ISB was the first milestone which enabled me and helped me to take the journey as a marathon. So I'm loving it. I'm loving the exposure.
Okay, let's come back to the Indian Air Force.
Yes.
You have flown all the helicopters, I guess.
Yes.
So can you just tell me which one is the easiest way to fly, and the one the helicopter gave you a lot of trouble?
This is a difficult question because nothing is difficult. Even being a pilot is one of the most easiest jobs, if you ask me. There are hundreds and thousands of pilots all over. It's safe, it's adventurous, it rushes the blood inside. So machines or the platforms are all same. Some are more advanced in terms of technology, some are slightly less advanced. But that doesn't matter. What matters is the piloting skills that you get. And my instructors, the people who taught me flying, are responsible for generating those skills in me. I tried to generate the same skills in my pupils when I became instructor. I don't know how far I succeeded. But as answering your question, I think it doesn't depend on the machine. The difficulty is all in your mind, how you perceive the thing, how you learn it, and how you enjoy that. So I think that does answer for this question of yours.
And talking about the flying, which is the most difficult terrain in India to fly?
Okay, so you need to understand one thing, that once you are airborne, you are up in the air, the terrain is not interfering with you because you are there up in the air. Yes, the terrain comes into play when you need to land there. And definitely, one of the most treacherous and difficult landing happens in the mountains because the valleys are constricted, the landing spots or the landing sites are small, the weather goes bad at the drop of a hat. So all these things make mountain flying a different proposition altogether. And most of my flying in my 28 years of career have been in the mountains. But over a period of time, you learn from your seniors, you graduate, and then with your own experience, you continue flying in that safely. So I think the mountains are the most difficult terrain to fly.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It means if you want to send the supply to Siachen, you have to use helicopter.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely, because there are certain places in our country, in our western sector, which are located at such altitudes where it is remotely not possible for someone to land or maybe a bigger aircraft and things like that, because of the terrain, because of the weather, because of other atmospheric phenomena and parameters. So helicopters do a wonderful job there. They are the life saviors of those people. The entire logistics they take care of. So I think they are doing a pretty well job. I'll stop at that.
Okay. So what is the difference between flying a helicopter or flying a plane?
Aeroplanes, when the Wright brothers made the aeroplanes, it was meant to fly. But unfortunately, helicopter was conceived and made by someone who had nothing to do with flying. He was an all-rounder. He was a painter as well. So helicopters inherently are not meant to fly. It's your skill which makes it fly. So I think it's slightly tricky to fly helicopters. You need to have an aptitude for that. But ultimately, the entire concept of flying is the same. The physics part of it is same. So it depends on your aptitude. But yes, I think that helicopter flying is slightly tricky.
Okay. And you have got around 5,000 hours of flying experience.
Yes.
Okay. So on this particular experience, what message you would like to convey to our audience who wanted to make their career in flying?
I would love to tell the audience that your career is in military flying to begin with. Because apart from my fascination for flying, I wanted to do something for the country for some time, but I did it for 30 long years. So I'll urge all the young people to think about the country, because the years which are coming by are in their hand. If they serve the country in this manner for whatever time they want to, and then take a plunge outside to make money or whatever, I think they'll be doing a great job for our country. So that's the message for the young people.
Nice. And this is the first time you are coming to Inspire Knowledge Campus?
Oh yes, this is for the first time I'm coming to this Knowledge Campus. It's a wonderful experience. I should say, I love the environment here, conducive to learning. I love the people there. There's smiles all over, including the faculty and the students all over. I have loved this place, let me tell you honestly.
Okay. And you are a pilot, you are a writer, and you are a sports enthusiast. And I have listened to your voice as well. You have mashallah, you have a very beautiful voice as well. So you are writing a book. Can you just tell our audience about your book?
I do write. I'm not a writer, but more than a writer, I'm a composer, because I started writing poetries, and I write poetries in all the languages, that is English, Hindi, Urdu, which is my forte. And I've been writing for quite some time. I'm very passionate about it. And maybe that's why I'm writing. I'm passionate about observing things around, observing behaviors around, observing the unseen which is present in the environment, and I take note of it mentally and then mold it into a composition or a poetry and then produce it. Yes, I have composed very many now, more than 500.
Can you just recite one or two for our audience?
For that, you'll have to follow my Insta page,
Okay.
where you will find a lot many of my poetries there. Or you can follow my YouTube channel as well.
Okay.
Very recently, I started my YouTube channel,
wow.
where I've tried to transform these writings into songs. And now I'm composing songs.
Okay.
So maybe you'll like it.
Yeah.
So I leave to that.
Okay.
So that
What's your Instagram handle?
okay, my Instagram handle is MUZZ_ZAFAR. So please like, share, follow, and give good comments on that.
And your YouTube handle as well.
My YouTube handle is Zafar. So please subscribe to it. Please put your comments to it. I would love that. Thank you so very much.
सफ़र की बात हो रही थी तो यहीं पे अपना सफ़र ख़त्म करते हैं हम लोग और आपसे बात करके बहुत अच्छा लगा. It was lovely talking to you and I wish you come back again. We'll have another podcast part 2.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining in.
It was an honor to be here. Thank you.
Same here. So that's it from the Empower Talks. In next episode we'll meet some other guests. Till then, please take care of yourself. Thank you.